I believe all of the things that you see online today on social media about happiness, success, and money, I believe a majority of that is a lie. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through 7 things that I believe that if you learn to embrace, you'll become way more successful than you ever thought that you possibly could be. Now, the very first thing is that everything looks crazy until it works. If you decide to start something new, like a social media channel, a new career, just something completely different than what you're used to doing, most people are going to look at you weird because they know you as one way. They can't see you as someone that's trying to build out a social media presence, as someone that's trying to build a business, or someone that's trying to go back to school. But if you block out the noise and you stick with it long enough to see some success, then the people that doubted you the most, they'll come around because they'll want to know how you did it. Can you help them get to where you are? And more importantly, how hard was it for you to actually achieve that goal? Because most people only see the finish line. They don't see what you have to go through in order to get to your destination. The second thing that you'll learn, and this often takes people much longer than it should, is that you'll start to have real success when you stop caring what anybody thinks. I knew whenever I jumped on social media that you have to have a thick skin in this space if you want to build out a presence in front of people that don't know you. You're going to get a lot of people that hate you, some people that love you, and some people that don't care. But in order to have any success, you have to make sure that you're locked in on what your goal and your purpose is. And that's for everything in life. If you allow people outside of your circle to dictate how you move, you're never going to have any real success. I often say that if you're worried that people that you know might see you, question what you're doing, or maybe even see you fail, and you're worried about that, then you don't want this shit as bad as you say you do. The next thing that I realize is that most people that are posting things on social media, they're not telling you the truth. You see the Lambos, you see the mansion, you see the partying lifestyle. And to be honest with you, so many people are out there faking that lifestyle to get you to follow them. Now, there are some people on social media that I follow that I know have put in the work and they're locked in and they're doing the things that they tell us about. But I believe that that's rare. So my brother lives out in California and he told me that they have places out there. And if there's anybody in LA that's watching this video, you can drop a comment down below and let me know, is this true or is it cap? But my brother said that there are places in California where you can go rent out a room that looks like it's a private plane. And a lot of people will book those to make their content because they want people that follow them to believe that they are more successful than they really are. See, to me, that's crazy. You pretend to be somebody that you're not to try to gain a following. But guess what? At some point, you're going to get exposed. At some point, you're going to have to show your work. And whenever you're not able to do that, then you've lost all credibility. And once all your credibility is gone, you got nothing left. The next thing that I think people need to learn and to understand is that the laptop lifestyle is a lie. You have people that are trying to sell you a course, or they're online and they're telling you, hey man, buy these rental properties and do this Amazon drop shipping and you can work from home or on a beach and you work on your own schedule and you don't have a boss and you essentially just work off of a laptop anywhere in the world. Look, I don't know anybody that is either a serious entrepreneur or someone that's really trying to get it at a side hustle that won't tell you that it is another job. So if you have a 9-to-5 and you have either a side hustle or you're starting a business, it's another full-time job if you want to be successful. So the people that are selling you this dream that you can start something, have everybody else do the work for you while you just chill on the beach with your laptop and answering emails every now and then, that's not reality. Does it happen for some? Yes, but there's a very small minority of the people that actually can live that type of lifestyle. And what they won't tell you is all the hard work that went in before they were able to do that. It may have taken somebody 15 or 20 years to get to that point, but they're selling you the dream that you can get there in 6 months. And that segues right into my next point about working a 9-to-5. yes, you can get rich by working a 9 to 5. I know that that is a novel idea. Nobody on social media is really talking about how, yes, you can get rich from working a 9 to 5 if you do the right things, right? If you're making enough income to be able to invest more than it costs for you to actually live your life, you will eventually get rich, especially if you're able to invest it in the market or invest it in some type of side hustle. I've often talked about how I want to set myself up to be able to leave corporate America on my terms. But that doesn't mean that if I have a business or I start getting some rental properties or, my investments start to blow up, that I would just walk away from corporate America. Look, I'm trying to get all money from everywhere that I can. Any bucket that I can access to get money from, I'm going to actually do that. So just because you have a come up in one area, that doesn't mean that you leave your 9 to 5. I follow a very popular content creator on YouTube, and he has definitely documented his journey similar to what I'm trying to do right now. And one of the things that he said is he got a lot of hate and a lot of people that were trolling him because he was still working a 9 to 5 and he was supposed to be rich, right? And one of the things that he said was, just because you have a business that's doing well doesn't mean that you can't actually still continue to work a 9 to 5 or in corporate America. Because from his perspective, he was able to max out his retirement accounts, his health savings accounts, and invest pretty much every dollar that he was making from corporate America because he didn't need the money to live on. See, now to me, that's a flex. The next thing that I understood, and this one took a little while for me because I got started a little bit early, but building wealth is often a slow process, especially in the beginning. And I believe that that's when most people get frustrated and end up quitting before they actually could see any success or any progress. Look, when you start out with $0 and you're trying to build out a stock portfolio, it is going to take some time. But once you get the ball rolling, compound interest starts to take effect, and you actually start to see some success in your portfolio. And another thing that ends up happening, and this is what I always say, especially because I'm building out a new portfolio on my channel to illustrate that after a while, you'll start to see some movement and some momentum, is that you start to find new ways to find money to invest. You might say, you know what? I used to go out to eat with my friends 2 nights a week. We would spend maybe $100, $150 every week going out just to eat and have drinks and have a good time, right? So that's like $600 a month. So maybe you only do that once or twice a month, and you take the rest of that money that you would have used to go out and you invest that. You'll start to find new ways to invest money once you see it going. It almost turns into sort of like a game. You want to see how much that you can get your portfolio to grow over a period of time. And after 3, 4, 5 years, you'll be amazed how much money that you have in an investment portfolio, but you have to get started and stick with it in order for that to happen. And then number 7, your family is going to be the people that have your back. I've talked about this on previous videos. If you come from a normal family that supports each other, they are going to be the people that have your best interest at heart. So many people worry about what people outside of their circle have to say, their opinions on how you live your life, how you spend your money. All of those things will come from people that don't have your best interest at heart. And you don't owe anybody an explanation for the things that you do within your own life. You don't owe anybody an explanation for why you're trying to level up. You don't owe anybody an explanation for why you don't want to go out every Friday and Saturday anymore, because you want to work on building out your social media presence or your business or whatever it is that you want to do. And once you really start to understand these things and you start to realize that outside factors and outside influence from people that have accomplished next to nothing are extremely dangerous, the quicker you'll be able to get on your own path to success. Now, what do you guys think? These are just some of the things that I believe once you learn and you accept them, that you'll start to see more success than you ever have in your life. Look, I'm documenting my journey, my health journey, my finance journey, all of that with you guys. And at some point, I'm going to be making a video and I'm going to say, guys, I made it to my next milestone. Leave a comment down below and let me know. What do you think about the things that I mentioned in today's video? I truly believe that once you learn to accept the things that I mentioned in today's video, that you will find success in your life much more easier than you ever did in the past.